Hello and welcome to WTF Science.
Hey, how you been? Come here, let me breathe in your face.
And this is a project of mine that's finally getting taken off the ground. So real quick, if you are not a fan of profanity, feel free to pause this video. There are a bunch of other science channels that are out there. This one is not going to be family fun. So go ahead and hit the pause button over there and Google away.
Facebook.com, my grandson Nathan.
No.
For everybody else, I would like to say welcome to What the Fuck Science. Science channel that I decided to create because I have been in science education for a little over a decade now, and I feel like there's some things that I would love to discuss. So a little bit of backstory about me and what this channel really is. So What the Fuck Science is an adult-centered science channel. Like, it's going to have a blog, a video, podcast, yada yada yada, but it's mostly centered around cutting the bullshit out of all of the science talk that you might hear. The voice of reason of science. So I got my bachelor's degrees in physics and geoscience, and I've got my master's degree in geoscience, and all of those were tailored to like astrosciences, so astrophysics and interplanetary geoscience.
Space rocks.
I had a fellowship with NASA to help me complete my master's research, which basically funded the entire thing, so thank you, NASA, for the fellowship. I have done tornado research since like around 2013 on and off in the summers for like a weekend here, a week there. I did a meteorite research where I walked around Kansas with a metal detector wondering who the fuck loses a nail 40 million miles away from civilization. I also was a planetarium coordinator and projectionist, did over 500 plus shows for local students in Nebraska, South Dakota, and Wyoming. I also did teacher in-service and things of that nature. I did NASA communication outreach for a little while, and I taught physics, astronomy, and geoscience courses during as an undergrad and as a graduate student. I was asked to do it, which was pretty cool. So I have a lot of experience teaching, but my current position is an instructional designer at a large university, so I don't get to teach anymore. And I haven't started my PhD yet, but that is going to be down the road. That is going to be something that I look forward to. So that is a little bit about who I am. What am I trying to do with this channel is to educate adults on science, because a lot of the time when I run into people, they are either resistant to what science is saying because of the way that people have talked to them, or they believe too much. You know, Bigfoot really did kill the dinosaurs. And so I'm going to be the voice of reason that kind of is in between the two of those. So one of the things that I have dealt with since I was teaching is, let's do something that's not going to set people off. Let's do something fun. Let's talk about climate change, because why not?
Oh, that's a bad idea. That's a very bad idea.
So climate change is a big thing on people's minds because some believe it, some don't. You have one camp over here that says climate change doesn't exist. And then you have another camp over here saying if we don't solve it in the next 5 seconds, the world will implode. So you have those two people, and usually the truth sits in between those two houses somewhere. That's what my job is for this, is talk about climate change and why the world isn't going to melt and why we should also be a little bit concerned. Let's look at real briefly, just kind of give you if you go to like a winery, you get like a wine flight. Welcome to the science flight.
The average bottle of wine is 750 millilitres in capacity, because that's the average lung capacity of a French bottle blower 200 years ago. You know the little ones you get in supermarkets? Asthmatics.
So first up, climate change. Climate change is real. It's a natural process that humans have exacerbated. We have made it worse. We have caused things to be a little bit different. So one thing you might have seen going around the media was that we need to get rid of all of cattle because they're the reason why we have methane and brr, 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 brr.
guy's a priest. Evil. Don't trust him. Look at him.
First off, very, very, very few people think that. Secondly, ranchers and farmers are actually on the front lines of fighting global climate change, whether they know it or not. They are some of the best people for the job. And to kind of give you an idea is that ranchers and farmers are the chemists and caretakers of the plains, or wherever they happen to be able to grow their crops and their livestock. They go out and collect soil samples and they see what the contents of the soil are and say, oh, we need to add nitrogen, or we need to rotate this crop, or we need to look at this invasive species. That's their job. And while most of them don't always go to school for it, they are chemists. They make sure that these large plots of land do not suffer from desertification, that the soil doesn't become irreparable beyond damage. I can't talk. They make sure that the soil doesn't become damaged beyond all repair, and they also feed the world. So why are there certain people targeting them? Well, it's convenient. And so we're going to talk about why, like climate change, we need to look at farmers and ranchers and say, hey, thanks for your work, and hey, we probably should be investing more money into you. But on the other hand, we have people who say, hey, this isn't happening, it's a natural process, fucking let her ride. It is a natural process. Just like if I walked up to you and shot you in the face, and someone's like, whoa, why'd you shoot them in the face? I'm like, what? Death is a natural process. Yes, but humankind is holding the gun. So yeah, natural process, that's being exacerbated by humans. If you want to learn more, I will be making a video and blog posts and blah, 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 blah about that. So what else are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about energy, like why fossil fuels are awful, but green energy isn't that much greater. Human sustainability, why nuclear power is the current solution.
One of those clean energy sources in particular has actually been on the decline in absolute terms, not just relatively. And that's nuclear. You can see its generation has declined 7% over the last 10 years. Now, solar and wind have been making huge strides, and so you hear a lot of talk about how it doesn't really matter because solar and wind is going to make up the difference. But the data says something different. When you combine all the electricity from solar and wind, you see it actually barely makes up half of the decline from nuclear.
We're going to talk about that wind turbines can't give you cancer because of the sound that they make.
And they say the noise causes cancer. You tell me that one, okay?
That's a topic that I've had to have with people about how sound doesn't cause cancer. Also, that wind is not a finite resource. Global climate change over here, we've got energy over here, and then my real passion is that science is studying the magic of the universe. Because right now, if I said, hey, your feet are younger than your head, some of you would be like, well, yeah, I came out head first. Gravity slows down time. And because your feet are closer to the earth, which is what provides gravity, your feet have an internal clock that moves slower than your head. It's very, very, very small, but it's true. I also can show you mathematically that every single person that you care about, every single loved one, you're connected with a tiny invisible thread that you feel each other's force, and that every star and every planet in our universe also feels you. And I can prove that to you mathematically. You feel the universe, and the universe feels you. So we're going to talk about all sorts of things. We're going to talk about medical journals there to stir up money and scare you.
Hi, I'm Dr. WebMD. You have cancer.
We're going to talk about, how environmental science is important. We're going to talk about why we need more women in STEM, because we fucking do. Run into my it's like, women in science. You're a piece of shit, and I fucking hate you. But I promise you, I'm not trying to change your political affiliation. I'm not trying to change your religion. I'm not trying to sell you an agenda, and I will try to be as not clickbaity as possible, but the more people that view these videos, the more revenue that I get, the more that I can create and be able to maybe potentially make this my job one day. That would be fucking cool. What I really want to give here is that this is a science channel that's supposed to be conversational. That there are a few things that I have listened to over the years that I think need to be addressed. And I hope to be kind of entertaining. This might not be the most entertaining thing because it's kind of like not impromptu dialogue. I've recorded this video like 13,000 fucking times already. But I really want to have a conversation with you. You can find these people who are saying, the world will end in 5 seconds, or the world is fine, don't fuck with it. You could say, well, you're both wrong, and you both need to come down off your pedestals and breathe a little bit. I'm going to have a blog that's going to be, I don't want to say family friendly because I'm still going to swear in it because that's my personality, but it'll be more accessible. I'm going to have these videos, which we're going to probably talk about like this week in science, current events that deal with science, and kind of have a conversation with you that way. Kind of think of like the Philip DeFranco of science. I'm going to also have a podcast because I'm a white dude in 2019 without a podcast, so I feel like it's like a cardinal sin to not have that. And then finally, I'll be streaming on twitch.tv, which is going to be it's going to be like gaming and some like science Saturdays and stuff like that. But I'm going to try to be as accessible as possible, but I also have a full-time job that all of my time is going to be focused on that because one, they're paying my bills, and two, this job is amazing, and the people I work with are just some of the greatest people that I've ever gotten to meet, and I really want to make sure that this doesn't cut into that. So maybe a few years down the line, maybe if I keep doing this, all the better. But yeah, so that's pretty much what the fuck science is going to be about. If you have any questions, please contact me. Down below here are going to be linked to all my socials, so please follow me on Twitter, Instagram, the Facebook page that this is going to be posted on, the YouTube, Twitch, wherever you can find it. Just hit like and subscribe as much as you possibly can. That will help me out tremendously so I can make these videos. So thank you for taking this ride with me, even if it's just watching this one video. Maybe you'll come back later. Either way, I really want to do science education. I really want to help people become scientifically literate, and I really want to get rid of this stigma about science, but it's gonna be hard, and I'm hoping you can help me out with that, and I hope I can reach as many people as possible and have some good laughs. Like, if you're not laughing and learning in this, I'm not doing my job right. So thank you for tuning in to the flying ship episode of What the Fuck Science, and I will see you in the next episode.